podcast for the culture. The podcast for the dream.
Yo, 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 it's your boy, Surrey I am 5G. That's 5G. Don't forget the 5. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in to another wonderful episode of Quarter in a Dream, the podcast. You heard it. We're the podcast for the culture. We're the podcast for the dreamers. So don't forget, we're also Worcester's premier podcast. So, first things first, let's go ahead and shout out the weather in spring in New England. Yeah, we got fucking snow on the ground, peoples. But, you know the saying. If you don't like the weather, stick around a while. New England has weather for everyone. And it did not disappoint today. Kids are home from school. Anybody who works in the school system has a day off to rest. Shout out to you guys. You guys are really, really, really the hero, indeed. So anyway, I woke up this morning and a lot of things were flooding my inbox. Biggest one being the Broad Wave situation. So of course, I went ahead and checked into it, and well, what do you know? What the do you know? Yeah, he's been arrested in connection to a shooting with some alleged YG gang members over an altercation that happened in St. Pete, Florida over Easter weekend. Yeah, indeed. So you would think that these guys would learn to stay the fuck away from this kind of drama, right? You have a life now. And I would assume a life second to none, but hey, what do I know, right? Um, so yeah, we're gonna get into that. We're also gonna get into a little deep discussion on Joyner and whether or not he is who he claims to be in his music. The reason why I'm gonna talk about this is because a really, really good friend of mine asked me in the car one day, a couple days ago, hey, you know, I seen this interview Joyner Lucas was on, and we get to talking, and you know, just in conversation, it was apparent that I know him, right? So I can say I know him. And he asked me like, yo, but is he really like that, like in his music? Because like, a lot of people that be dick riding, like, oh no, he's not even like that. Like we know him, he don't be in the streets, like da da da. So we're definitely gonna get into that conversation. You'll be surprised to know the answer. Actually, all I'm gonna say is rap is a big fucking stage. The world is a fucking stage. But yeah, stay tuned for that because that's audit. That's gonna definitely be a great, great topic to discuss. All right, so yeah. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. So, that being said, my man being John, let me go ahead and make sure he. Alrighty. So, let me go ahead and invite my guys over here. John. Yeah, shout out to my man Beam. That's my guy. Like that's my guy from way back in the day. Like, he's that dude, right? If you're watching through the Facebook page, make sure y'all go and add his page. He's got a clothing line coming out this summer. To be announced. I ain't gonna spill all the beans on his venture, but we're gonna support that 110% because I'm all for coming up out the mud, getting your shit together. And he's one of them dudes, man. He did a stint behind the wall. He came home, man, and he's trying to get his shit right. So shout out to my man Beam John. You feel me? Yes. All right, let me go and see. Am I still going? I should be still going. Let me just double check this. Sorry to do this to you. I should be prepared, but I'm still learning as I go. So on YouTube, I don't think there's anyone watching, but in like real life, yeah, there might be a few people watching. So let me just hurry up and go to Facebook, John, see what we got. My man, Beam John, like I said, man, he got a clothing line coming out real soon. You know what I mean? Hey yo, Beam, share this live onto your page, you know what I'm saying? So we can get some more viewers in here. So we about to dive in. You heard? Um. So yeah. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Basically, I woke up this morning and they said that Rod Wave, like I said, he was arrested in connection to an altercation that happened down in St. Pete, Florida, with some alleged YG members. There is video footage of the said altercation that you can go see on my TikTok, at a quarter in a dream, on TikTok. Yeah. So again, you never see him with a gun in his hand. He is walking towards said shooting, but that doesn't mean anything. Okay, so there could have been there could have been a whole list of things that were fucking going on, right? So like why he was arrested, I don't know, but I do have the newscast that I'm going to share with you guys in just 1 second. So if you just want to hold on, alrighty, all right. So let's get this share. Let's share this screen. Oh, I love this thing. Alrighty, here we go. Here we go. And then where else am I sharing? Oh,
We're behind bars after a mass shooting on Easter Sunday. Good evening, I'm Paul Lucero.
And I'm Josh Benson. Thanks for being with us for News Channel 8 on the CW Tampa Bay. Law enforcement say Wave, or Rodarius Green, was arrested on weapons charges this morning.
But he was released because he was detained on inaccurate information. News Channel 8's Alessandra Young breaks down the violent week St. Pete has had.
St. Petersburg police say they've had a challenging week of violence in the city, including a mass shooting where 4 people were shot. Officials say that several agencies have been working together, and on Wednesday morning, 3 suspects were arrested here in Manatee County. Easter evening, the St. Petersburg Police Department says 4 people were shot outside of Sonic Sports Bar and Lounge, while everyone survived.
Mentally, they're hurt. Mentally, this community is hurting because we are tired of this senseless shooting in our community.
The violence is taking a toll.
It's any given day. You know, it's around here. You don't know. Something could pop off. Bam. You know, I don't know. Am I going to get back home today? I don't know.
Every day. It hurts. I'm tired. Because I got grandchildren.
Law enforcement arrested 3 people and have warrants on 2 more.
These individuals and fired into a crowd. At the scene, we recovered over 60 casings.
Detectives say those arrested belong to a violent group that has been on their radar since March of 2022 for drug trafficking and shootings.
One of the reasons why this came together so quickly is because of the hard work we've been putting into this for the past year.
Police say they're connected to rapper Rod Wave and are living in homes and driving cars registered to the rapper or his record label. They executed searches this week at the properties in Pinellas and Manatee counties and seized weapons, ammo, cash, drugs, and jewelry.
It's important to be able to kind of show when we have a group that pretends to show violence. And as you can see, it's pretty violent. To be able to shoot that many rounds down range indiscriminately at anyone that could have been anyone in this room that was driving by, going home that night that would have been able to hit in their vehicle. We have to be able to address that.
Police say right now they do not know if Rod Wave was there during the shooting, and he has not been charged. In Manatee County, Alessandra Young, 8 on your side.
alrighty. So, yeah. Okay. So you heard it right there for yourself. Um, Shit's getting a little weird. So my question here is, do you think that they are vilifying our, do you think that they are vilifying our black community? What's going on? My guys are in the building. What's going on, my G's? And I don't mean my YGs, by the way. Word up. Good luck, Red Vandal. Shout out to my man, Red Vandal. Word, my man, Quarantino. 10-ton. What's up, TQ? Always in my corner. Always good to have you guys on live with the kid. I definitely appreciate you guys more than you'll ever know. Because honestly, I wouldn't even know how to do this live stream and shit if it wasn't for TQ and Light Buddha. So thank you guys for everything. We're actually recording live in 3 different apps because obviously the audio of this is going to be on Spotify. But anywho, my thing is this, okay? So as you can see in the video, you see Rod Wave. He's kind of the last to walk up. Shots are going off. You don't really see much movement in terms of like saying like, hey, yo, go shoot them niggas or like any of that shit. So like, it just kind of looks like he was there, right? But he didn't give the order to go, yo, fucking shoot them niggas. Cause like, coming from the projects, like you would have seen some, like in my opinion anyway, right? Like you would have seen some sort of hand movement. Yo, them niggas over there, like air that shit out. Like it's up with them niggas over there, right? And like none of that was going on. So like at the end of the day, I really am having a hard time trying to figure out or compute in my mind why the fuck they arrested Rod Wave, right? Like I get he was there, right? Or they probably arrested him actually, right? Shout out to Rod. They probably arrested him because they like, yo, who are these guys? And he's like, I don't know, right? And they clearly probably have like surveillance footage of him being inside of Sonic's, chopping it up with these dudes, right? So like, shout out to Rod Wave for, I guess, standing on business, right, and being solid. But on the flip side is, Rod, my G, like you could have calmed them niggas down, right? Like I get it. If they were shooting at you guys first, then bet, right? It's up with these niggas. But you're in a position right now where our youth, they're looking up to you, right? And we all know this to be a fact, right? My daughter actually listens to your music a lot. And, you know, when she alerted me, like, yo, Dad, like, have you seen this shit that's going on? It was a scary reality, right? Because it's like, yo, these niggas is really in the streets, like, getting to it, right? And they get into it crazy. And really giving it the fuck up. So I always feel like this, right? When you're given a God-given blessing, right? And believe you, right? It's a God-given blessing, right? If they turn to the devil and all of that extra shit for money, power, and fame, that's on them, right? Because God has given us the ability to choose. And if they choose wrong, whatever, that's on them. To each his own, right? If that's the boat you want to ride, if that's the shooting star you want to be on, no pun intended, then go ahead, ride that wave, right? I know which wave I'm riding. So anywho, these it seems right now that there's this media campaign to vilify anybody with a little bit of influence in the Black African American. I'm Black American, right? But I will include African Americans because some people still do identify as African Americans, even though I don't believe that my ancestors were shipped here on boats. Okay, I believe we were already here, and we were chopping it up with the Mexican Aztecs, and they came and fucked up what a good thing we had going. Because the one thing I do, and not to run off on a tangent here, but Buddha, my man's in the building, but like not to run off on a tangent here, but I once heard that it's easy to take power from those who don't know they have it. And I do know that we lived in peace. So it wasn't a power struggle going on, right? We had rulers, yes, right? But no one owned the land, right? No one owned the resources, right? Like these were concepts that were foreign to us, right? So when it came to coming over and saying, here, we're gonna give you this to buy this land, we didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. But we didn't know you can own land, right? So like again, it's easy to take power away from those who don't know they have it. And then you add 200 years of lying to us after you enslave us, right? Exactly, Red Vandal, exactly, right? So after 200 years of lying to us, right, the generations start to forget who the fuck they were. So again, I will include African Americans into this campaign the media has going on. But again, I am Black American, original descendant of America, right? New Egypt, Um, um, yo, Vandal, TQ, what's the Kemet, right? Kemet, new Kemet, yeah, yeah. So like, but anyway, right? So like, I feel like the media has this and as far as that goes, I digress, right? That's my little punchline. Damn, my ashy as fuck, guys. But anyway, right? So like, I feel like um they have this media campaign to just say like, yo, uh, everybody that's bad in Hollywood is, and I believe Red Vandal might have said this, right, during another live stream event, right? Because we're all really close, man. We really support each other, right? Because like we're doing exactly what they were afraid of us doing, and we're clicking up, right? We're all over the country, but we're clicking up, and basically, um, all of these news outlets, it's like they're like piranhas when it comes to someone from our culture fucking up, right? Like they're waiting for them to slip off that ledge, bro, and they're down there and they're ready to pounce, right? So like again, when I first heard about the Rod Wave shooting, right? The way it was like, the way I'm googling it, I'm on the search, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, and everything that I'm looking at is making it seem like Rod Wave had a fucking gun in his hand, and he's like on some old Yosemite Sam cowboy shoot 'em up, you know, real live wire gangster shit. And all I saw was him walking, looks like to get into a vehicle, shots rang out, and he backed off and then ran away, right? Now, there's actual audio along with the video footage, and you still don't hear Rod Wave say much of anything, if anything at all, right? Now, combed through the uh, I haven't combed through the the footage enough to say that like it's a fact he hasn't said anything. But again, from my first couple views, he hasn't said anything. He didn't even look to his left or his right. He was locked in on what the fuck was going on, right? So like again, they're making it seem like he was all a part of this. Now, okay, I get that they found uh a bunch of shit in some homes that were in his name, right? But that's like me saying, hey, yo, TQ, listen, bro, I just bought a house down in Florida, right? And TQ's like, all right, word, listen, yo, can I go down there, dog? I need a place to crash, bro. I need to get on my feet, right? Nigga, I got bread. I'm trying to get my niggas jobs. What they do with the opportunity that I give them is on them, right? It's on them. So at the end of the day, y'all can say what the fuck y'all want to say, right? But until Rod Wave says yes, I knew that there was illegal shit going on in those homes. That man is innocent until proven guilty, right? So, like the media, they know this, but yet they still want to paint it to be one of these situations where another black star is out there acting like a fucking hooligan, right? And I don't think that that's the kind of situation that it was, right? Like, there's so many different dichotomies of this, right? And the media always runs with the most salacious part of it, right? Now, I know that there could have been a million things going on, bro. Like, I saw the jewelry collection that they confiscated from these young fellas, like on some serious shit, bro. That all looked like real jewelry, right? So the one thing that we do know, right, is a lot of these motherfuckers, bro, these niggas will go and spend $200 on some 925 and put a bunch of moistenites in it, right? And call themselves like, oh, I got $1 million in jewelry. I got a house on my neck, blah, 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 right? Like, I'm a 925 nigga. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a 925, right? But I'm not fucking rich, right? These niggas look like they was getting money. So if I was them, bro, like, you know what? That's actually, so my man just said, right? Sometimes the fuckery, it feels like it's a part of the plan, right? Like it's written in the contracts with these niggas. And you know what? I would not even fucking, I wouldn't, I have no reason not to believe that, TQ, on some dead serious shit, my nigga. Because like, it, it, man, like in this age of Aquarius, I feel like this is what those contracts would be for if they were written into the contracts, right? Like, so like once the world starts to wake up, we gotta rock them back to sleep with a bunch of fuckery, right? With a bunch of reality TV show type shit. So Rod, you're up. Diddy, you're up. And when I say Diddy, you're up, please don't think that I'm fucking going to bat for the diddler, because I am damn sure not. Okay. Um, it's just like, I feel like it's the media's last ditch effort to keep us fucked up mentally, right? I feel like it's their last ditch effort to keep us fucked up mentally, right? To hold on to them to them little strands of stereotypical beliefs, right? Like, you can't give black people no money, you can't invite them nowhere, they don't know how to act, blase, blase, blah, right? Because, like, there's a lot of young moguls now that this internet shit is running the world. There's a lot of young black moguls where this shit doesn't happen. This isn't the typical day for our young black males, our young Latino males. So, like, pressure to stay real. Yeah, Vandal, that might be a big thing too, right? So the pressure to stay real in the streets might be a factor, right? And that's a big fucking pressure, especially with snitching at an all-time high, right? And I've always heard this, and I grew up in the projects, right? Is a rat will chew their own arm off, right? A rat will eat their young. So I always grew up like this, right? If you're in the streets, right, and you and your man, y'all get into a shootout, somebody gets shot, you go down for it, you was involved in that situation, right? You assume the responsibility. You assume the liability for what could happen, right? So you go down, you do your time like a man, you come home, right? I was also taught this. If you don't think that you're going to be able to handle the time involved with the crime you're about to commit, then do not invite any of your friends to come along. Third, I was taught, if you want to go play basketball, if you really ain't about this street life and you get caught up in it and you're a civilian, then be a civilian. That's not ratting where I'm from, right? Now, a rat where I'm from is someone who gets caught up and they tell on their friends. A rat where I'm from is someone who can't do who can't do the time, right? But they still did the crime. So like the media has this definition, right? They have this word rat, right? Where it's always been a very easily defined word, right? It's been a very easily defined name to call someone, right? And now they have this huge umbrella over it, right? So, like, say for instance, right? Like, I'm saying, oh yeah, I saw the shooting footage of the Rod Wave incident, right? Well, some people would say right now I'm fucking right? And it's ridiculous, right? That like the generation are like, we need our OGs back in the picture, right? If this street shit is really going to progress and going to be cultivated into a system where these young dudes are actually being taught to grow, but to have some integrity, to be able to stand on business. We need our OGs back, bro, because the media, right, wants to raise up a bunch of street men to crush them, to just crush them, right? So, like, they want them to go get into these situations that my OGs would have been like, whoa, 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 before the car even left the parking lot. Y'all little niggas don't want to do that, bro, because this is why. Bang, bang, and bang, right? But now we got TikTok, we got YouTube, we got Facebook, where like they're showing, right, all that real shit, right? And I'm air quoting right now, all that real shit, right? But they're not showing the real shit that come along with that shit, right? So like, it's easy for a kid to become desensitized seeing this shit, go out and think he can do it, right? Because he's not seeing the long drawn out court battles that these these niggas is getting into. They not seeing the pain that other families is getting into, right? And yeah, right. So we got a debate going on inside the comments right now, right? The fam is going through it. Like, hey, yo, the street life persona, it does sell. But at what point are we going to stop allowing, right, these white folk to come in and manipulate our culture to the point where our young folks no longer know, right? The lines are blurred between street shit and stupid shit, right? Because when I was growing up, street shit was you defend yourself, you defend your family, and you defend your friends from all aspects or all outside negative influences, right? Now street shit is shoot somebody in the motherfucking head for whatever reason, right? You're a street nigga if you go kill an innocent bystander, right? Where I'm from, niggas fuck you up in the hood for hurting innocent people, right? Like where I'm from, bro, it was crazy. It was really fucking crazy. Like you couldn't rob women, right? You couldn't rob your own kind. Like there was a lot that was going on, and my mother-in-law and wife were about to walk in and see all of this. So, shouts out to them. Hold on, let me just go make sure I go open the door real quick. I'll be right back, guys. Oh, they're on their way in. Hold on, and I don't want to get up because I don't want something to see what I got wearing. so, so yeah, back when I grew up, we didn't rob women, we didn't rob our own kind. And on dogs, if you hurt the innocent, bro, niggas would fuck you up. But the media has it geared right now that, like, to shoot an innocent woman that's pregnant, like, that's the definition of street shit. Like, where I come from, bro? Right. Yes. We laughed at niggas that wanted to rap. Hey, see? So, like, now, right? We got a bunch of real niggas clicking up, and we're starting to expose the real side of what was really going on in the places that we come from, right? So, like, a lot of the stuff that these kids are seeing on social media, that ain't it, bro. That ain't it. We're looking at it like, what the fuck is going on? And the OGs that are saying, yeah, this is what it was to be street. Like, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy, right? So again, you got my headphones falling out and shit. So again, you know, uh, it's just a lot of fuckery, bro. It's a lot of fuckery. So like, oh, I forgot, So yeah, it's a lot of fuckery. And I'm gonna just go back to what Red Vandal said, right? Yo, bro, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. And what I want to let you young guys know is, please do your homework. There's a lot of factors involved when you're dealing with street shit. You decide to in essence fuck someone else's life up, bro, and they're coming for you. So just remember, right? You're being played. The same people that are showing you or exposing you or desensitizing you to all this fuckery that's going on, right? They're not telling you that, like, yo, listen, uh, by the way, we obviously, we're going to use you for slave labor in our industrial jail system, right? Or jail industrial system, whatever they call that. Somebody let me know what the actual name is to that. But yes, modern day slavery, and you're going to be um, plantation master or plantation worker number 896607. So just keep that in mind before you go out and you think you're keeping it real. All right. Again, when I grew up, and I'm sure the homies that's in the chat and verify, to keep it real was to protect you, your friends, and your family from all outside negative influences. Okay. Now the lines have been blurred, right? I'm sure my mother-in-law can agree, because like she's even told me stories about how when she grew up in the hood. And granted, right, this is before the social media age, but there's certain key aspects of how she grew up that we can attribute to right now, right? So like she said, like they would come out in all of the houses. It was like a mass exodus of kids into the street, and they would all play with each other, right? But when there was a problem, right, they handled it like they were supposed to, right? Like, okay, may the best woman win, may the best man win. But at the end of the day, we still live to fight another day. No one's trying to go hurt another person's family. And you know what? Because I know it to be true with me, right? Yo, listen, I used to fight with this kid so much, and I found out that this little nigga was my cousin. I seen him at a fucking family barbecue. Do you think we started shooting each other at the barbecue? No, no. We sat there and we chopped it up, and then we found out that actually we were more alike than we were different. So at the end of the day, bro, we need to stop warring over these blocks that don't belong to us, right? All we're doing is driving down property values so they can come in, right? Buy up the property and then kick all of us out. Say thank you for doing our bidding, right? And then now we're gonna jack the property value up so that way you can't even afford to live in this area no more. But shouts out to you for representing the hood. Thank you. Come again. Anyway, so that's what I have on that. They even got hood activities on TikTok. Yeah, yes, indeed. Yo, Vandal. Yo, listen. I ain't seen a nigga catch a fade in probably like an honest fade in probably like TQ. I haven't seen niggas catch a fade in probably like 3 years, my G. And that was only because he got punched in the face and he had to fade back. Like he had to get that nigga a tight Caesar. You feel me? But like, no, like they got the game messed up right now, bro. And it's crazy, right? It's crazy. But guys, so right, we're gonna get back to that. Basically, I want I want to I want to get into something, right? And get on the camera. Oh, I still on the camera. But anyway, right? So I want to get into this thing, right? So like a couple days ago, a really good friend of mine, he was giving me a ride to my job, and he started asking me about Joyner Lucas, right? And he wanted to know if he was really as hood or as street, right? As he says that he is in the music. And we had a pretty in-depth conversation, right? Because again, I know him, but it was weird that his name came up because that morning I had just watched one of those Breakfast Club interviews. So, excuse me. So, here we go. Is Joyner Lucas really who he says he is in the music? All right, buckle in, guys, because I got a story of stories about Joyner Lucas, right? All right, so let's get it going. In 2008, I got arrested. I got out on probation. I had a 6-month suspended sentence. This was early 2008. I quickly found out I was not a probation candidate. I wasn't trying to go see my PO when they wanted me to. Like, so I just said, fuck it. I went on the run, right? I had a 6-month suspended sentence. And then once I started talking to people, they're like, yeah, bro, if you got a 6-month suspended sentence, bro, you'll be out in like 3 months tops, right? So I'm like, I could do that on my head, right? Because I did 2 months before I came out and, you know, copped out to the probation and the suspended sentence. So anyway, I went in probably about July, right? I got caught on the warrant. Well, no, I didn't even get caught on the warrant. I walked in the court and I told my probation officer, I said, listen, if I go in and do the 6-month suspended sentence, when I come home, I'm off probation, right? She said, yeah. I said, all right, put me in. So I went in. That was like July. So July, August, September, October, November. Yep. So it was in July. So in like November, I got home. My baby mom's at the time, she was supposed to have came and picked me up from the county when I had gotten out in Worcester. She didn't show up. I thought it was funny, but again, I'm like, whatever. I'm just happy to be home. So I call a cab. I get to the crib. Oh, babe, you're home. Blah 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 blah. Something was different. I just didn't know what, but something was different. Long story short, we spent the weekend together. That Sunday, she woke up. She turned over. She's like, "Listen, Siri, I can't do this no more. I'm in love with someone else. I got another nigga. Blah 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 blah. Whatever, right?" So I packed up my shit. I boogie, right? And I'm the kind of nigga where like, yo, I was crushed, right? But I won't let you know I'm crushed. So I packed up my shit. Uh, my uncle at the time had lived up on Catherine Street. He had a 1-bedroom apartment. It was him, his wife. My uncle was there. My other uncle, Uncle Tony, God rest his soul. Um, Another soldier that we lost to this fentanyl shit. And his wife, right? So there's 4 people in a 1-bedroom apartment. So I go up there with a bunch of bags, right? It's just like 2 years of shit that I got packed with me, right? And I'm at his doorstep, like, yo. And all I got to offer him is a little bit of cash, right? Because I'm back out. The plug bless me. So like I offered him a couple hundred. He's like, all right, listen, you can keep your shit here, but bro, you got to figure out your situation, right? So I'm like, all right, bet. So I put my bags down. I go out. At the time, right, when I was in jail, a guy, his name is Dr. Roberto Diaz. He worked at the youth center at the time, and he reached out to me when I was in jail. He sent me a letter. One of the only people outside of my immediate family that wrote. But he says to me, he's like, yo, listen, because I used to go to the youth center and record. So he's like, listen, bro, when you come home, you need to leave all this street shit alone and just work on your music, right? So I wrote him back and I said, yeah, I got you. That's what we gonna do, right? So he sends me another letter back and he's like, hey, yo, listen, have you heard of this kid named Future Joyner at the time? That was his name, Future Joyner. I said, nah, who is he? He's like, he's a little light-skinned Jerry curl nigga that be running around. That's not what he said, but that's what I read. Like, that's what went off my head, right? Little Jerry curl wearing nigga that, fly guy nigga, pause. So I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, you need to meet him and another guy named Mingo. Shout out to Domingo Guyton, right? We did a song when I came home. So anyway, so I got kicked out Sunday. That Monday, I was at the youth center, right? I get in there early as shit, right? Mingo's there, Joyner Lucas, Future Joyner comes in at the time, and Berto's like, yo, he introduces us all. So, Future's like, oh, you rap? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, I rap too. He started doing this 1-2, blah, 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 spit. In my head, I'm like, man, fuck this nigga, because I'm competitive. So I'm like, man, fuck this nigga, man. I'm better than this nigga, right? But in my head, I'm like, I'm going to have to come hard on some shit, right? So Mingo's like, hey, yo, listen, I got a song I want y'all niggas to boom. We could do that. So, I bet. So I'm like, yo, listen, we can get in the booth. So I wrote my verse there. He wrote his verse there. I won't say none of us outdid each other on that track, right? The real person who shined through on that track was Mingo. Shout out to Mingo again. But like now I'm like, oh, I fucks with this dude. Like he's peace. So like after we did the Eternal Love track, I bounced out. I put the song on the airwaves for a little bit, let people hear, and people was like, yo, son, you got some shit with you. You need to keep recording. Right? So like, and I wanted to hear what people had to say about it, right? Because like my mom always told me, like, if 10 people call you a horse, then buy a saddle, right? So like I wanted to hear 10 people's opinion. Like, yo, am I good? So they was like, yo, you got some shit with you. All right, cool. So a couple days later, I come back, right? I had been out grinding. I was tired because, like, at my uncle's house, like I said, there was 4 people inside of 1 bedroom, so there wasn't much space to move around. There wasn't a lot. There was just really a lot going on. So I go and I get into you. At this point, this is when I'm working on. There's a song I was working on, but anyway, I had the idea for the hook, the verses, and then my brother he made all my beats at the time. So long story short is, Lucas or Future rather had some ideas, so he produced the track for me, and he just added this twist on it that was fire. So like right at that point, we really started to fuck with each other. So I'm at the studio all day, and then I start to see he's working on his own music, and he's getting into this creative zone where, right, like it was like, wow. That's all I can say was fucking wow, right? So the youth center was getting ready to close. It was about like 6:30, 7 o'clock. And Joyner looks at me and he's like, hey, yo, what are you about to get into? So I told him, I said, oh, no, I got a boogie because I got to figure out, like, where I'm staying tonight. So he's like, no, listen, I got a studio at my crib. I live right down the street. Why don't you come there, right? There's a couple songs that I want you to write to and hop on. And then from there, right, you can figure out your whole situation. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I go there. This is when he lived on Dewey, right? So we get there, and he got like this old ass computer that had like Windows 95 on it, right? Like a Fruity Loops 1986, right? So like I'm looking at it like, what in the flying fuck is all of this, right? So like, anyway, he started playing these beats, and I'm, whoa, okay. Like, y'all think he talking about how he was channeling shit today? He was channeling way back when. So okay, um, he comes up with a couple different things. He's like, hey yo, can you throw verses on this, throw verses on that. So eventually we settled in on home now, right? Because I just came home from jail, so like I was like, that's perfect, right? So like I wrote the verse, fire, but he destroyed me. His verse was fire. But anywho, um, at that point I'm like, yo, this thing is for real. Like he is going to be rich and famous behind this rap shit. So with that being said, uh, we working all night. So at like 11 o'clock, I'm like, oh shit, I haven't found no place. He's like, yo, look, listen, don't worry about that. You hungry? So I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? Where we going? He's like, no, we can make some food. So we go in this kitchen, we talking, we chilling. He's a goofy, hilarious ass nigga. Not a goofy. He is a goofy type, hilarious type nigga, right? He's not a goofy. He's funny. So anywho, uh, after we eat, we go lock back in. We come up with this song. She think I love her. Um, we came up with Chris Brown. Chris Brown was wild. But anywho, it was amazing to see. But he goes, yo, listen, goes up to the sleeping bag, and he's like, yeah, man, you sleep right there. I'm like, say what? Nah, bro, I'm not. You know what I mean, he's like, nah, bro, you good. Because at the time, right, he don't know me, I don't really know him, right? We just feeling each other out, we getting to know each other, pause. So I stay the night, we wake up in the morning, I wake up to beats, right? He's at the computer, right? He does this little head nod, right? And it looks like he's like staring into space, right? But like now that when he's on a beat, he's actually visualizing, right, what the video is going to be like, and then he writes around that, which is crazy, right? Because I've always done things in the opposite, right? I write, I get the beat, I write, and then I figure out what I want visuals to look like. He's completely the opposite. And not only that, right, but when he used to write on the pad, he spared no space on, like, he would put 3 songs, or he would put every aspect of the song, visuals and everything, on one piece of paper. So like I'm talking inside the fucking, inside the, he's got camera pans in from the left. Um, uh, Camera zooms out from desk. Like weird shit, right? But like I'm starting to get it. Like, yo, this thing is creative genius. It's fucking lit, bro. So okay, cool. I get up, you know what I mean? This nigga gives me a brand new tooth, right? Like the whole 9. But now I'm like, damn, I don't even know what I'm gonna wear, bro. I gotta run up to my uncle's and grab some clothes. He opens his closet. He's like, nigga, you can pick out all of that, right? He gives me basically a brand new fucking wardrobe, right? So that's the kind of nigga he is. I bet. So that was in like 2008. So and I remember him saying, right, because I told him that I was hustling, right? I kept saying like, yo, I gotta go back out to the block. He's like, bro, like, what do you got? Do you want to do music or do you want to sell drugs? Because like you can't do both, right? So again, when they ask me, is Joyner Lucas a real street nigga? Yes. Because if you heard earlier in the episode, right, I said my OGs used to tell me, right, all the risks involved with my guys used to tell me all the risks involved, right, with said venture, right? So like if I wanted to go sell drugs, they're gonna tell me, right? Like, all right, well, the money's good, but you're gonna have, you gotta save money for a lawyer. You gotta save money to use the phone. You gotta do all of this extra shit, right, in order to sell drugs. So if that's what you really want to do, then go ahead and do it, right? So again, yes, Joyner is a real street nigga, right? I bet. So he told me, yo, you can't have one foot in and one foot out. If you want to do this music shit, do this music shit. If you want to go sell drugs, you can bounce, go sell drugs. I'll holler at you another time. That's real nigga shit. Is he a bitch? Not even close. Not even close. Does he shoot niggas? No. But he'll be the first to tell you, no. He hasn't. But will he? The nigga I know. Don't test that. Alright? Don't test it, bro. But anywho, just to, to wrap this up, right? Damn, this is crazy. We already 50 minutes into the episode. Alright, so we gonna wrap this up real quick. Alright. So, anyway, I choose the street. So, I'm back out there, I'm hustling. And again, remember I told you I was heartbroken because of what my son's mother did to me. So I'm out there 1,000 miles an hour, hand over fist. I'm not turning down no type of money. I don't give a fuck. I'm chasing it all down. Ha, 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 ha. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Well, I end up meeting Harlem's mother at the time. And, now I feel like I'm complete again. What the case may be. But I made a really long list of bad decisions. And when I say bad decisions, I mean completely. You guys see my cat? Okay, so 2019. Yep, sounds about right. Okay, so in probably about, I'd say June of 2019. Hey, when was it? Was it about June? When I told you when I was with Beamer and I seen Joyner Lucas in the R8 downtown, he gave me all that money, and then that was about June, right? All right. So yeah, it was about June of 2019, right? And again, I told you by this time, like I've been the man, shoebox money the man, but now I'm at like the lowest point of my life, right? Because of a list of really, really bad decisions, right? So like, I see this. I'm with this guy, right? He's my plug at the time, right? And he's not even my plug. He's my fucking drug dealer, right? Because I'm smoked out. Tyrone Bigum's smoked out, right? And I see this R8, and I said, tap him. I said, yo, listen, that's Joyner right there. He's like, who? Joyner who? Joyner Lucas? I said, yeah, nigga. The fuck? He's like, I know it ain't. I said, oh, dogs, it's Joyner Lucas as we walk by, right? And then look, he said, yo, that's Joyner Lucas. I said, I know him, my nigga. He said, didn't you say you know him? But he kind of said it in a way that was like, nigga, yeah, now it's time to call your bluff, nigga, right? I said, yeah. He's like, oh. But you know how niggas be like, yeah, mm-hmm. So I turned around. He's like, what are you doing? I'm walking up to the car. He's like, yo, don't do that, bro. The nigga's gonna think you're a groupie. So in my head, I told you, I knew this nigga didn't believe. But anyway, right, I'm doing it because in reality, right, I really just want to say hi to the nigga, right? Because at the moment, I don't know what came over me, but it was like this emotion, right? This need to let him know, like, yo, remember all them times I told you, like, because we would talk on Facebook all the time, and I would always say, don't worry, just keep grinding because you're going to get signed. You're going to be rich. You're going to be famous. So I just felt this overwhelming need to let him know, like, can I tell you, bro? So anywho, I knock on the window. He's like, yo, is that Sir Teller? The Don? Right? Because I used to go by that funny ass shit. But I'm like, yeah, it was good, bro. He pops a lot. I sit in the car, right? And again, like I told you, bro, like I'm homeless, all types of crazy shit. So I'm looking all hella types crazy, right? And my nigga, you could see he give me the once over, and like he's just like in his eyes, they're like blank, like damn. Like I could tell that I'm like I'm breaking his heart almost, right? And He's like, yo, what's going on and shit? So I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm chilling and shit. I'm with my mans and shit. So he look over that beam, what's going on, bro? But anyway, he's back to me. He's like, yo, listen, take my number down, right? And call me and I'm gonna send you an Uber. No, he says, yo, you trying to go to the crib? So I'm like, nah. Like right now, I got some shit to do. I hit him with some bullshit, right? Because like I wanted to go get high. Like I was in the process of going to the trap house to go get more smoke the fuck out. So I hit him with some bullshit, like not the crib, and I really need to go and find, some shit, something I said, right? But along the lines of, I can't go right now because I need to go back and make sure I secure the bed at the shelter, right? And he kind of looked at me like, yeah, all right, well, listen, take my number down, give me a call, and then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll get up later. So then I'm like, yo, let me get a pen, right? So he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I don't got a phone right now. So the nigga goes in his pocket and he just starts peeling hundreds off, right? He hands me a bunch of money. I don't even count it. I just put it in my pocket. He's like, yo, go get a phone. Here's my number. And then call me. I'm going to send an Uber for you so you can come to the spot. So I'm like, I bet. So when he pulls off, right? Beam is sitting there looking like wide-eyed, like, oh my God, you really know homie. I'm like, yo, bro. Like the one thing about Syria 5G, you're going to understand, bro, is I have never felt the need to lie or bullshit about nothing. All right, like the life that I have lived, I could write a fucking book about. Okay, and that's real shit. Babe, you agree? I'm telling you, real movie style type shit. But I don't like to really tell a lot of people these stories because, like, if I was the average human being, I'd be like, this nigga's lying too, right? Like, look at this thing. But anywho, I go right over to Metro. I go and buy an iPhone, right? But on my way to Metro, I'm telling Beamer like, yo, this nigga he peeled me off. He's like, for real? And at the time, I think I owed Beamer like $200 and something. So I peeled him his money off the bread. Boom, here, take that bread. Right? He's like, holy shit. No, he's good. Don't worry about it. Right? So I'm like, yo, you know, that's just what that is. So when I go in, I buy an iPhone. I hit Joyner on the hip. Boom, this is the number. Bang, bang, bang. He's like, all right, bet. Let me know when you're ready to go. I'll send the Uber. Right? Yeah, he was asking, yo, you still with your wife? Boom, boom, boom. Like the chick you hear in the background, she was there, but she was at work. So when she got out of work, she met me at the trap house, and I told her about what was going on. So like, I'm at the trap house. Yo, it's up with niggas at the trap house. Like, they're lit. Like, yo, this nigga, no, it's Joyner Lucas for real. Like, yo, I don't know what the fuck they thought we was gonna be rich and famous. I don't know what the fuck they thought was gonna happen, but that was like the talk of the trap house. It was like, yo, this nigga in the bathroom that's smoking mad crack, he really knows Joyner Lucas, right? Like, cool. Anywho, my wife gets to the trap house, so I get in my man's bathroom. I try to freshen up the best I could, right? And then I let him know, like, yeah, come, send that Uber. So he sends an Uber. Boom. Uber pulls up to this fucking castle that has like a monster truck in the driveway. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? I don't even see the R8. I'm like, where am I? Right? So I text him. I'm like, I think I'm outside of like someone's castle. So you might have gave us the wrong address. That nigga's like, I'll be right out. Right? So the nigga comes out. We walk into his crib, right? And welcome, Joyner Lucas. And I'm like, did your house just speak to us? He's like, oh yeah. That's my home security system and shit. What the fuck? And then, right, like as we're talking, I stop again because now I'm looking around and I'm pretty sure there was like one of those big ass poster stickers of Kyrie Irving when he played for the Celtics on the wall there, right? And then there was the plexiglass basketball hoop, right? And it's in his foyer. So as soon as we walked into his house, right, we walked into a fucking basketball court. Like it was fucking crazy, right? I won't. Anyway, so like, he's taking me around, boom, boom, boom. He talks on the TV. This man got like 27 TVs that make up one TV, right? Like, it was the most incredible shit I've ever seen in my life, right? I was so proud of the nigga, almost brought a tear to my eye, right? That's how my niggas living. Because like, if you watch the Joyner Lucas video Legend with Rick Ross, you'll see how niggas was living, right? From where niggas came from, right? So, I'm super proud of him. He's like, yo, I got the studio downstairs, so we go downstairs to the studio, boom. He asks, he's like, you still rapping? I'm like, I can, but like, life has been, a little fucked up. And then he's looking at me, he's got this look on his face like, damn, bro, like life is really beating you down, bro. But Joyner's always been a realist, where it's like, my nigga, these are decisions you made, so you got to deal with that, right? And that's why I always respect my nigga, right? It's not that it was any love lost, but he knows we're all human beings, right? And he knows that we all have the ability to choose, right? Like Brendan said, we have the ability to choose our experience. And I chose to experience what it's like to be a fucking junkie. I didn't have to. I had promised to. Joyner Lucas, when I would tell him that he was going to be signed, he would say to me, like, I'm just waiting to see you at the top. Like, we can start scheduling album release parties if you like. Like, those are the kind of conversations I was having with my man. But anyway, he sat there. I was one of the first people, one of the first civilians, I guess, in Worcester to hear the ADHD out. Like, Post Malone was supposed to be on it. There was a couple tracks that was like, them shits was outrageous, right? Murdering shit. So we there, and again, I didn't think that he was listening to me when I told him about the whole shelter situation, but he read between the lines, knew I was homeless. So like, 3 or 4 hours into the visit, we done shot a couple hoops, we done did a couple things, you know what I'm saying? He's like, hey yo, call a couple hotels. So I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna put you up in a hotel for the week. So there wasn't a lot of vacancies. So point blank period, we found one. Got us a king suite for the week, paid for the whole week, and that's just what it was. So and I feel bad about it now, but like I think I owed that man like some deposit money because I think we left like that room torn up. Like we didn't break anything, but like it was really trash. Because I was living real fucked up, right? So like there was food everywhere, but there was no like nothing was broken. We didn't like fuck the room up like that, but like we just left like trash, a lot of trash, right? But anywho, this was the life that I was living at the time. It was crazy. It's fucked up, but it's true. But he never ever made me feel any different about myself. He never made me feel any different about who I was. Yeah, he let me know through body language he was disappointed at the route that I took. But even after that, like he sent me money. I had the kids with me, and I wanted to grab them some grub. I asked him for $20. He cashed at me like 150. No bullshit. Yeah. So like he's always been the kind of guy where it was like he would give the shirt off his back if he could, right? But I get where he's at now in life after watching that interview, where he's like, "Hey, yo, listen, I've hurt myself too much, at the expense of trying to help others. So like I have to shut that shit down, right?" So like I've seen him a couple times since 2009. One of the last times I seen him, like he be out here in these streets of what's the like don't let him fool you, but like he don't be chilling, right? And where who the fuck would? Who would be smart enough to be chilling, right? Because like let me tell you, like shit's real in Worcester, bro. Like if y'all think Boston's bad, bro, like imagine Worcester being like one leg behind, right? So that's fucking terrible because like Boston's on demon time, so like Worcester's terrible, right? Like Ivan the terrible type terrible. So yeah. So to cover the question, is Joyner Lucas really like he is in his music? Absolutely. right? Even more so because a lot of the shit that he goes through and a lot of the shit that he does, y'all would never hear about, right? I also was asked, why doesn't he put somebody in the city on? And here's why: you'll never know if he put someone in the city on. It's because Joyner does not need his name attached to anything for validation. Right? That nigga don't need you to validate him. He don't need me to validate him. He don't need this interview to validate him because the nigga knows who he is, bro. He always has known who he is. And that's the one thing I've always admired about the nigga, right? Like, I got plenty of funny stories I can go into and talk about with the nigga, right? And I'm not talking about funny stories that would paint him in some weird ass light because, like, you know, the media outlets always waiting for a nigga to slip up and say some old crazy salacious shit. But, like, nah, I'm talking about, like, as far back as since 2008 when I first ever shook this little nigga's hand, he's always been solid. Solid, right? Always been solid, right? So, like, I feel like that's why the industry or the media treats him the way they do is because they know that it would be quite hard to vilify him for some shit, right? Because he fucks with the hood, he fucks with his community, right? He throws events in the hood, he throws events in the community, he gets niggas haircut, like he does crazy wild shit, right? And he never has to say, yo, look what Joyner did, right? Like, this nigga got apps out for recording artists, and you would never know that the shit was Joyner Lucas's shit, right? Unless you really like listen to him say, yeah, I got this app out, and then when he talks about it, it's not even like he's trying to promote himself. He's trying to promote the unsigned artists that are using this app, right? Like, yeah, man, like I got this app for like people who want to do their own publishing and want to write their music. We got, you know, the the music writing, you know, part of the app or the segment of the app. Like, yo, listen. So it's not about him not putting niggas in the city on. He puts the whole city on. Like, he really does, right? So, like, don't ever think that like you're going to hear, oh, Millie's is now signed to Joyner Lucas Records. Like, I can almost assure you that even if Joyner Lucas was to start a record label, it would have nothing to do with his name, right? Nor would he want to be all dancing in the videos. Joyner Lucas presents Surrey IM 5G. Like, none of that. No, I'm positive he wouldn't, right? 'Cause that's the nigga's nature, right? He knows who he is. He's confident in who he is, and he doesn't need all the limelight, right? Because he's a businessman. He's very, very intellectually gifted, right? And these are the dudes that I was bumping shoulders with. So if you ever wondered why I talk the way I do, why my wit is the way it is, like why I can fire back a quick, funny joke, like these are the kind of niggas that I grew up around, right? Like, and Joyner Lucas actually came into my life at a very, very important turning point, right? When I was growing into a man, right? Because like my whole young adult life, I owe to my OGs coming up in the hood, right? Shout out to the 617, right? Shout out to the South End. But like being a young man, right? Like I owe that to the people that came up around like Eastern Ave or like you know, Big Dog Shane, you know, Izzo, you know, real niggas that was making moves and what's that time, right? Like we had this group of niggas where like niggas was getting to bread. It wasn't about beef. Niggas just wanted to fuck bitches and get money. That's just what it was, right? So like it was really good time. It was really, really, really good time. So yeah, man, that's it for my little story on Joyner and whether or not he's on some factual shit, right? That guy's really factual, right? And the only thing I will say is that based on the the based on the Breakfast Club interview, he was a little dark. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But I definitely like to thank y'all for tuning in to this episode of Quarter in a Dream podcast. This shit has been fire. Yeah. So again, man, thank y'all for tuning in. This shit has been a hell of a ride. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is your boy, Siri I am 5G. Don't forget the 5. And it's been a pleasure. Y'all have a good one.